Herrick arrived at the airport just as the sun was coming up. He had planned this trip for months, the kind that makes you feel you're finally catching up with life again. His ticket was confirmed, his boarding pass already on his phone, and his backpack felt lighter than usual. Everything was going right. Security was moving fast that morning. People were gliding through scanners, shoes off, laptops out, all routine. When it was his turn, Herrick smiled, confident. He placed his backpack on the conveyor belt and waited. Then one of the agents stopped him. "Sir, can you please turn on your laptop?" A harmless request, one Herrick had heard a dozen times before. He pressed the power button. Nothing. Pressed again. Still nothing. The agent's face didn't change, but his tone did. "Is the battery dead?" Herrick nodded, already realizing what was happening. The charger was in his checked suitcase, completely out of reach. Within seconds, he was pulled aside for a secondary inspection. The clock on the wall ticked louder than usual. Minutes slipped away, one after another, while he tried to explain. By the time he was cleared, the gate had closed. Through the glass, he watched his plane move down the runway, leaving without him, all because of something as simple as a dead battery. What happened to Herrick isn't an isolated story. Every single day, thousands of travelers are stopped, delayed, or miss their flights for reasons that feel absurd until they happen to you. Because in 2025, airport rules aren't just stricter, they're evolving in quiet, unpredictable ways, and the things you thought you knew about travel might no longer be true. This isn't just about liquids or laptops, it's about new policies, smarter scanners, and airline tactics that are catching millions of passengers by surprise. If you've ever thought, "That could never happen to me," pause right here. Herrick thought the same. Don't be the next traveler watching your plane roll away. Hit subscribe, not for me, but so you never walk into your next airport blind again. Because staying informed is the one travel habit that always pays off. So before you pack your next bag, here are the 10 new rules of hand luggage in 2025 and how to avoid becoming the next Herrick. Rule 1. Your carry-on no longer fits. It's the same suitcase you've used for years. You know it fits. You've seen it slide into the overhead bin on countless flights. But this year, something strange happens. You lift it, push it, twist it, and suddenly it doesn't fit anymore. You're not imagining it. In 2025, many airlines have quietly changed the dimensions of overhead compartments, especially on new short-haul aircraft. Some are smaller, others have different curvatures that reduce usable space. And if your bag doesn't fit easily, they'll tag it for the cargo hold and charge you for it. But that's not all. New weight limits are also being enforced. Even if your bag fits the size guide, if it weighs over 7 kilograms, it may not be allowed on board. So that trusted carry-on you once loved, it might be betraying you now. To stay ahead, check your airline's official size and weight limits before every trip. If you're flying with multiple airlines, check each one. Rules aren't universal anymore. And choose soft, lightweight luggage that gives you flexibility. Because in 2025, even the bag you thought you knew can turn into a problem at the gate. Rule 2. Power banks under the spotlight. Once upon a time, a power bank was your best travel companion. Now it's becoming a reason for delays. Security officers are under strict orders. Any battery exceeding 27,000 mAh or 100 watt-hours cannot board a plane. And if the label isn't visible or if it looks suspicious, they'll confiscate it on the spot. It doesn't matter if it's brand new or if you used it 100 times before. If they can't read its capacity, it doesn't fly. So here's what seasoned travelers now do. They carry smaller power banks, under 20,000 mAh, with clear, printed labels. They keep them in visible cases and never pack more than 2. Because when security agents start looking closer, it's better to be ready than to argue. Rule 3. Stainless steel bottles are raising eyebrows. You've probably seen them everywhere. Shiny, thermal bottles, double-walled, elegant, eco-friendly. But those same bottles are now setting off alarms at airports worldwide. Why? Because scanners can't see inside them. Opaque metals block X-rays, and some double-walled designs can even hide prohibited liquids or powders. In 2025, several airports now pull aside passengers carrying metallic bottles, even if they're empty. Manual inspections, delays, or sometimes they'll ask you to throw it away. So if you want to stay hydrated, go transparent. Use clear or silicone collapsible bottles that you can roll up after use. They're easier to inspect, lighter to carry, and they'll never raise suspicion. Because sometimes even being eco-friendly can cost you time at security. Have you ever lost an item at security that made no sense? Share it in the comments. Your story might save someone else's flight. And if you're learning something new already, go ahead and tap subscribe, because this channel's here to keep travelers like you one step ahead. Rule 4. Smart luggage, dumb problems. A few years ago, smart suitcases were the future, complete with GPS trackers, USB ports, and digital locks. Today, they're one of the top reasons for confiscation. Here's why. Most smart suitcases come with built-in lithium batteries that power those features. If the battery cannot be removed by hand, without tools, it's banned from the plane, both in cabin and cargo. It doesn't matter if it's the latest brand or cost you $500. If you can't take the battery out, it doesn't fly. So, before your next trip, check your luggage. If there's a removable battery compartment, detach it separately and carry it in your hand luggage. If not, leave the suitcase at home. In 2025, smart travel means knowing when smart isn't actually smart.
Rule 5. August, the new cheap trap. For decades, August was one of the most expensive months to travel. But this year, something unexpected happened. Due to global schedule shifts and changing vacation patterns, the last 2 weeks of August have become a sweet spot for lower fares, sometimes 20% cheaper than July. Sounds like a deal, right? Not exactly. Many of these low-cost fares now come stripped of the essentials. No free seat selection, no hand luggage, no flexibility. So while the price tag looks tempting, the hidden fees can quietly double your cost. If you want to travel smart, book your August flights early, ideally between June and early July, and read every condition before paying. Because the cheapest ticket isn't always the smartest one. Rule 6. The TSA watches how you pack. Security technology has evolved fast. In 2025, it's not only detecting what's inside your bag, it's analyzing how it's packed. Clothes tightly rolled with electronics buried underneath create dense images on the scanner. Dense means suspicious. Suspicious means inspection. And inspection means everything comes out in front of everyone. To avoid this, use packing cubes. Separate clothing, electronics, and liquids. Keep cables untangled. And never overfill your bag. An organized suitcase doesn't just save space. It silently communicates trust. And that means faster clearance, fewer questions, and a smoother start to your trip. If you're still watching right now, that already says something. You care about traveling smarter. Don't let this knowledge slip away. Subscribe so you never have to relearn these rules the hard way like Herrick did. Rule 7. The end of the multiple bag trick. Remember when you could sneak in a shopping bag, a duty-free bag, and a tote on top of your carry-on? Those days are over. Airlines are enforcing the one carry-on plus one personal item rule like never before. That personal item must fit entirely under the seat in front of you, no exceptions. If you show up with extras, you'll be asked to consolidate or pay. Seasoned travelers now use expandable backpacks or foldable totes that can nest inside their main bag. When the time comes, they simply unzip, reorganize, and keep moving. In 2025, flexibility isn't just convenient, it's essential. Rule 8. Liquids, the old mistake that never dies. You'd think after all these years, people would remember the 100 milliliter rule. But every day, security bins overflow with confiscated shampoos, creams, and perfumes. Now enforcement is even stricter. Every liquid must be under 100 milliliters inside a 1-liter transparent zip bag. And yes, even half-empty bottles are still considered full. What counts as a liquid? More than you think. Peanut butter, yogurt, gel deodorant, mascara. They all fall under the rule. If you love your skincare or personal items, buy refillable travel bottles, label them clearly, and keep them within reach at security. It's a simple detail, but one that saves you both time and frustration. Rule 9. The hidden reason people get stopped. In 2025, scanners are faster, but humans still watch everything. And one behavior always catches their eye. Travelers who forget to take out their electronics. Laptops, tablets, e-readers. If even one stays buried in your bag, your luggage goes straight to secondary inspection. That means more waiting, more questions, and sometimes missing your boarding time. To avoid this, keep all your electronics in one easy access organizer. When you reach the scanner, open it, place the devices on the tray, and move on. It's not about following a rule. It's about understanding the rhythm of security. Rule 10. Lithium batteries, the silent threat. Lithium batteries aren't everything we carry. Cameras, drones, trimmers, even kids' toys. But a single damaged cell can cause heat, smoke, or worse, fire. That's why airlines are tightening controls. No loose batteries in checked luggage, no damaged or swollen ones in hand luggage either. Every lithium battery must have a visible label showing its capacity, and it must be packed individually in a protective case or plastic sleeve. It's a quiet rule, but it matters more than any other, because a single overlooked battery can delay an entire flight or ground one completely. Before you forget everything you just learned, stop scrolling. If you've ever said, "I'll figure it out at the airport," that's exactly how Herrick missed his flight. Hit subscribe right now, not out of habit, but as a promise to yourself that you'll never be that unprepared traveler again. And in the comments, tell me, which of these new rules surprised you the most? Because awareness shared is frustration spared, and your story might save someone else's trip. By now, you've probably realized air travel in 2025 isn't just about getting from one place to another. It's a system in constant motion, adapting faster than passengers can keep up. Herrick learned it the hard way. His mistake wasn't forgetting to charge his laptop. It was assuming the rules hadn't changed. Every new policy, every hidden detail is part of a larger shift towards tighter security, lighter cabins, and stricter compliance. And while that might sound exhausting, it doesn't have to be. Because traveling smart isn't about memorizing every rule. It's about staying curious, checking twice before packing, being organized, adaptable, calm. That's what separates the delayed from the prepared. So before your next flight, review your luggage, label your batteries, keep it light. And most importantly, never assume yesterday's rules still apply. If this story opened your eyes even a little, don't just move on. Hit subscribe, because every view that doesn't turn into awareness becomes another Herrick story waiting to happen. And share this video with someone you care about before their next flight leaves them without them. In the end, the journey begins long before the plane takes off. It starts with awareness, and in 2025, awareness is the best passport you can carry.